Hi, my name is Jason Masony. I am a caregiver and I am the national lead for the American Cancer Society's Voices of Hope program. My cancer journey started in 2005. It was a warm summer day in Boardman, Ohio, when I stood in front of a gazebo and I looked at my then fiance, Julie, in the eyes and I said, I do. It was a beautiful and magical day. 46 days later, it was no longer about I do, but it was about hearing those words, you have cancer. Just shortly back from our honeymoon, we sat in a doctor's office while Julie heard that she had stage 4 colon cancer. Our lives were turned upside down. Here I was in my mid-30s and I had to grow up really fast and learn to be a caregiver. Julie battled cancer for 3.5 years through numerous surgeries, numerous rounds of chemotherapy, and ultimately she went into hospice care. You have cancer are 3 words that nobody should have to hear. It takes a doctor about 1.5 seconds to say it, but it takes an entire lifetime to comprehend. Even worse is hearing there's nothing more we can do. While in hospice care, about a couple weeks before Julie passed away, we were sitting on the couch in her house and we were talking. And she asked me to make some promises to her. First and foremost, she asked me to make sure that her mom was taken care of, as Julie was an only child. She then asked me to promise to keep fighting on her behalf. And lastly, she asked me to tell people not to make the same mistake that she made. So what did she mean by that? When Julie was a teenager, she was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. When she went off to college, she decided that a college kid doesn't need to get colonoscopies. And the medication that she was on to help control some of the side effects weren't going to interact well with a college kid wanting to drink alcohol. So she decided to forego her preventive care, her medications, and ultimately developed cancer. Hearing you have cancer is tough. Hearing there's nothing more we can do is so hard to hear. I think the worst thing we heard was the surgeon after the first surgery that said, you know, if you got your preventive screenings, we wouldn't have even needed this surgery or the chemotherapy we're about to talk about. So I made it my life mission after that to make sure that I remind people about getting their preventive screenings. Her second promise of asking to make sure I carried on her legacy. About a month after she passed away, I was looking for a way to do that. A good friend of mine told me about Relay for Life and said I should join the Relay for Life team. And I immediately responded with, I don't run. And he had to explain to me that it was not a race, that it was something much bigger. And I formed a Relay for Life team in my first meeting, my first captain's meeting. I had other team captains coming up to me, didn't even know me, but wanted to hear my story, wanted to hear Julie's story. My first relay was magical and left a lifetime impression on me. I got to cheer on survivors. I imagined Julie there cheering them on as well. I became passionate for caregivers like myself. Years later, I was asked if I ever joined a support group after Julie passed away. And I said I sure did, Relay for Life. That became my support group, and I've met some amazing individuals who are now lifetime friends of mine that I consider family. I later remarried, and my wife Kristen was volunteering with Relay before she met me in honor of her dad, who's a cancer survivor. We have 2 wonderful boys, Elijah and Spencer, both of which love Relay for Life. They're little mini relayers. Spencer once referred to Relay as Relay for food because he gets to go around and support all the other teams by buying their walking tacos and other goodies that they're fundraising with. And they've become, at the ages 7 and 9, avid volunteers of the American Cancer Society themselves in fundraising. Most of the time at my expense, as they fundraise enough money that I agree to take a bottle of ketchup to the face or a pie over my head or Thanksgiving dinner poured on top of me. But I would do any of that for the mission of the American Cancer Society. because it is now my lifelong mission as a volunteer, as a voice of hope, to give back and help make sure that my kids grow up in a world where cancer is a zodiac sign and nothing else.